Hi there, everyone. My name is Tony O, and I'm very proud to be part of the virtual Everyday Mathematics Professional Learning Conference. In this recorded session, although we have links and already pre-recorded like tours of the teacher and student centers, we wanted to personalize this a bit to help give some purpose behind why you might want to go online to enhance your not only in planning but also instruction. Looking at the video, it's such a reminder of how vibrant an everyday math classroom is. And so everything we're going to show you is going to be support to help you get that hands-on, minds-on learning in your classroom. And so for our learning time in this short clip, let's find those guided tours so you can take deep dives when you're ready. Let's also point out key resources such as planning presentation slides or additional supports for differentiation that support planning and instruction, as well as in the program itself, the Help Center is very robust. So let's find those videos depending on your learning style, as well as quick start guides and other quick clips, including videos from the authors. And of course, in any event, tech support or needs, where do you go for help? We've also added a click path that you can find here. And if you need digital access for pre-K through 6th grade, you can use this demo code listed below. And especially if you're a coach or someone supporting multiple grade levels, this will give you ongoing access across multiple grade levels. All right, so let's get started. When you log in, you're going to see access across all grades, and you'll notice that there's two book bags basically. One is for the teacher center and one is for the student center. When you pop in, it's going to greet you with today's lesson, unless you haven't set up a class yet. If it's blank, this is a great way to get oriented to the main menu toggling over here on the upper left. You can open and close it, which is nice when you're using it to present with students. But that first little icon called Classroom Management is going to provide support for adding your class. Now, this is the demo code, so it's grayed out right now, but this is where you would go to add a class, and the information they're looking for is like your start and end date, holidays, as well as allowing you to choose which day is going to be a flex day since we teach 4 lessons a week. So you'll want to make sure to do that. The other note in this section, if you have a teacher that's a partner teacher that you are sharing students with, and they have an account with ConnectEd for Everyday Math, you can actually share student data by adding that specific teacher right here. So that's a helpful tool, especially planning for intervention and pieces like that. If I go straight back to that main menu, and let's just say I wanted more support about what it really looks like to add a class, if I click the Help Center, this is a plethora of supports. Everything from quick start guides by topic, as well as already made topic videos if that's your learning style. So you can scroll through these topics, and there are more pages down at the bottom where you can scroll through. And you can even use the filter on the left. Let's just say that you only want videos of support. You can filter those out by topic as well. If I want to remove that tag, go back to my entire implementation menu. One of my favorite tools is the Implementation Support Click Path. You're going to notice that it's a mix of videos by topic as well as click paths. Okay, look how awesome the first section is. I was able to interview the authors in a very casual, intimate setting through Zoom and ask them some hot topics for implementation. What is amazing is that this is agnostic from the digital center, meaning you can download this, save it to your Everyday Math files, and when you're in the mood to see that full overview of the student center or the full deep dive into the teacher center, you have those clicks that are ready to go. The structure and function has a topic on the left, like for example, this amazing implementation guide for all things EM. Here's your click path. Sometimes if you keep scrolling, you're going to see videos as the topic, like our new independent problem solving tasks. So you decide, do you want to see the video or you just want to hop into those click paths? When you move throughout, you're going to see lots of supports that teachers have asked for over time, like they hear about it in a training, but wait, where was it nested in the online platform? So here you go. If I keep scrolling, one last thing I want you to see is the opportunity to sync your classes with Google Classroom since we're a certified partner. And then finally, the Digital Tech Center. You know what, you guys, they're really good. You can call them, they'll support you right away, or you can email them with your question right here using that link. Once you download this, everything that you see underlined is hyperlinked and ready to go. Using the upper menu up here, you can see grade level resources. By toggling over here, it's going to repopulate, give you templates like dot cards or record keeping masters for benchmarking, or even your mastery expectation charts. The best way to get to know this section is literally by clicking through it, because everything in here is grade level specific for you. You can also use the main menu on the left if you want to filter out, for example, what is the Sketchpad? How awesome, you guys, that we have these there for you to explore or to even shine up on your smartboard, but your students have this already in their center. For example, 10 frames. These are a wonderful way to make sure students are making meaning when using tools. You can see there's a little bit of script there, and then by populating that play icon, it allows students to play with these. You can see that it's asking students to use the 10 frames to make sense of the total. I'm going to give it a shot here by entering 9. I'm going to check my answer and I get instant feedback. But look, you can get a new problem of kids using their fact strategies to solve this task. Everything from fraction circles, number lines, hundreds grids, every tool, there's an opportunity to engage. So maybe this is a place that you want to kind of orient to so that students that are struggling, you know they have this exact same menu in their student center. And you could point them there for support. As a new teacher to Everyday Mathematics, you're going to receive your box of goodies. Even if you inherited a kit from a teacher and it's missing a card or something like that, no worries, because everything plus more that you don't see here is included from your main menu by scrolling down and clicking on eBooks, where you have access to PDF type versions of all of these resources. And as you're getting to know the stuff in your box, even moving forward to lesson planning, I want to introduce you to the Professional Development tab nested at the bottom of the main menu. By opening this up, you'll have two options. There are videos hosted by McGraw-Hill, but also the Virtual Learning Community, which is a hub of all things EN. Teachers sharing resources, videos of teachers in action, tips on how to organize games, and so much more, you guys. So by taking a few minutes to join the Virtual Learning Community, you'll always have just one click away, a very unique level of support when you need it. At the start of the video, I mentioned setting up your class. The benefit is having an organized planner or calendar that greets you with the correct today's lesson. By opening the planner, you're going to notice it's basically your scope and sequence for the year, your pacing. You can organize your flex day to be on a Friday, or if you prefer a Wednesday. You'll notice the color coding that matches the lesson type. Red is assessment, green is open response. But let's just say that you had a 3-day weekend and you need to move all of your lessons forward. By clicking the cog wheel, you're going to do just that. By clicking forward, it's now making that a non-instruction day. But let's just say that you want to make it a teaching day. No problem. These are here to help keep your calendar up to date for both you and your students. When your students log in, they're on the 13th of July. They're going to see and have access to lesson 1.5 and everything back. Toggling to your main menu, scrolling to unit, I just want to highlight a few pieces that really do at a glance help support the unit you are about to teach. You can see I'm in Unit 1. You can navigate to any unit for planning. I'll just click on Unit 2. Right here you can see super helpful information, manipulatives, materials, the things that you might need to collect, as well as printable and one-click, the things that you would need that are student-facing. There are multiple ways to access these types of resources, but this is one that you can see your whole unit at a glance. Over on the right, there's other specific pieces to support learning, even professional development for that specific unit. But when I click on resources, it's going to unlock pieces that will help you think big picture for that unit, for you and your families as well. Here are family letters in English and Spanish. Although they are digital in the Student Center, how nice you can print them off if you want to send those home. You'll see at the differentiation level, this is a great nonstop shop spot for all of your English language learning lessons. Just can't praise these enough for being that just-in-time support, even for differentiating the game of the day. So if you haven't had a chance to check these out, please do. Over here on the left, depending on the version of your teacher edition, this is going to be the step out support if you are, for example, in the 2016 version of print. We now have an updated 2020, but don't worry because you have access to all the new planning pages that support that focus, coherence, and rigor, and planning for a day of rich instruction. So we didn't want to keep that information from you, so you have access. How teachers have found these pages to be very supportive and helpful is our new independent problem-solving tasks. You'll see in this teacher support a little blurb about problem solving, as well as an example of what your 2 tasks are. This is an important spot to linger because as you notice, each one is done after a specific lesson. So you can see after lesson 2.3 and 2.10 is when we would want to administer these awesome activities. If you wanted resources specific to those independent problem-solving tasks, you can just use the menu on the left and it will filter it out. And notice you even have the answer solutions here, as well as the ones that you can print off for your students right here. If you want to see the scope and sequence for the whole year, check out the user guide. It will show you after which lesson you have independent problem-solving tasks for the entire year for your grade. While we're here, one last resource, I'm going to remove the filter. I wanted to hint at the record-keeping masters. By opening this up, this is a very powerful tool. Even if you don't like Excel, you can save these to your everyday math file. You can use them as running records, put them on a clipboard, walk around, teach around, make anecdotal notes. I like this version because it allows you to plan for your flex day by looking at those notes about performance and choosing ways to support on your flex day for remediation, reteaching, extension, and so on. Even though it says individual, we found this to be helpful to put one per class, but by clicking the icons or the chapters below, if you rather see a checklist, you're going to be able to move through these not only for the daily lessons, but also the end of unit assessments for data collection as well. Okay, I know you're probably starting to see the amount of support that's nested inside ConnectEd. A couple that we're not going to talk too much about, but over here on assessments, you can always use the quick start guides or videos to support exploration of customizing assessments. Anything that you do to the grade level assessments actually populates into my assessment. So these are all of the things that I've done to play around in that demo code. You can assign these, you can edit them, you can open them using this little cog to customize the assessments. And then when you share or assign these to your students, it does show up in the Student Center. When you are entering the data using the data dashboard or assigning things through the assessments, it will populate into the data dashboard. There are 5 types of reports. And in the Help Center, just so you know, we have a video explaining those reports and how teachers use them. So be sure to check that out when you're ready. The eTools add comfort because this is a hands-on learning curriculum. And so at any time when students are playing games at home, they can grab those dice. They can even populate their own dice by pulling them out and rolling them. This is something that we actually allow students to play with, kind of that first week of school, just get to know the eTools. Notice the deck of cards that you have here. So very easy to model a lesson by creating the recipe that maybe it's being asked for. Once it populates, you're going to drag those cards out and deal super quick. You can mix up games and focus by using the variety of cards. And don't forget about the other card decks. And the reason I say that is because for Rugs and Fences, for older grades, they have the cards that are ready to go. You don't have to make them if you use your digital version of cards. Here's an example of shape cards for second grade. If I pull those out, look at that. We can do all kinds of sorts and things alongside that. So teachers love that they can bring out multiple representations using eTools, fraction circles, hundreds grids, number lines, and so on. Now, as far as the background, the purpose is a little different. You can see that a lot of the routines that are really important have templates like frames and arrows, so you can actually bring those out for students. In the event I want to clear off all of the manipulatives, I can just hit that recycle icon and it will clear everything away. All right, so here we are back to our dashboard. Let's talk about the lesson presentation slides and some other resource hot links over here on the right-hand side. As you think about today's lesson 2.4, there's a nice little overview in here. There's even, look, a linked tutorial video. This is a video that is a step-out example of the strategies in today's lesson. To present, you're going to click your icon. As it loads, there's just a couple of features I'm going to show really quick. Number one, this is a great way to view all of the slides that you can use for your presentation. Down below, there's a grid here, like the waffle menu. You can see everything that is available by specific component. Notice that within each component, there could be multiple slides. So we're actually going to look at the mental math and fluency for second grade. Notice up here, mental math and fluency. It doesn't look like there's anything to do. And don't worry, it's always going to give you directions if it's a game. This is an alert that there are manipulatives already pre-programmed. And because it's a quick click card, that means I'm going to pull it out like a manipulative, and it's ready to flash it for students for 3 seconds. I'm just going to hit that go icon, and looky there. Kids are going to think with a partner, and I can turn this card over so that I can annotate. I can use my writing tool or even my text to decompose out what students are noticing, the part, and then the total, or starting with the total of 10 and how they saw a set of 8 and a set of 2, and so on. But notice that this is only one of 3 cards. The arrow on the right will navigate you forward for your next task. And that's the pattern across. But when you want to move to a different component, all you have to do is press the arrow and it will move to phase 2 of the lesson. Here, I'm going to say that there's not an arrow, so there's only one slide here because this is the math message. It's a launch pad and a place for you to record thinking of students. By clicking that arrow again, it's now moving into the first activity. You will note the teacher edition is still on our hips because we're getting that context of what we're doing at this phase of the lesson. Each tile has its own personality and design to really enhance the learning of today's lesson. Being new to everyday mathematics, you will feel so supported with the game. Knowing that games are about half of the work we do in everyday math because we want kids to practice tons on those strategies and skills, they've opened up the access. So you have kindergarten through 6th grade access. This is grade 2. There are skill builder activities, challenge activities, but overall what you should know is that some games allow a partner, so 2 kids can share one device if needed, so you can each take turns. So many of the games are differentiated. So even looking at all the options for just Top It, this may be a game that you haven't yet played yet. By opening it up, it's always going to give you the directions of the game so that you can play like teachers against students, and you can learn how to play these games alongside your students. Many of these also have game boards if you have the game kits, and also you can use those digital cards to play versions of Top It. So you have like multiple ways to play those important games. Earlier, I mentioned the data reports. Well, what an easy way to, for every lesson or even once a week, entering your data online. By clicking the data evaluation tool, normally you would have a bunch of your students across the top. This is the demo, so there's one student in here. But notice this icon called Score All. As you walk around Teach Around for that daily assessment check-in, you can click green for all of the students that got a yes with one click, and then you can simply unclick for a red if a student or two did not yet make mastery for today's exit ticket. It literally takes just a few minutes to enter your data. On the home screen, we're looking at today's lesson as 112. How awesome that the data will populate specific to today. As mentioned, there are 5 types of reports. In our deep dive for advanced users in the math conference, we'll go over these reports in more detail. But don't worry, because in the help section, there are quick start guides and videos. The power of using this tool will group your students. This is the demo and it is back to school, so there's not data in here now, but it will show based on the grade band, students that need remediation and students that do not. Even if you do not populate the data, you can still take advantage of the differentiated assets. You can see full mini lessons. Either they're going to take you back into the curriculum, like an activity card or a game to those students who did not meet the mastery. But also, these little mini lessons are so great because they're short, they're sweet, they provide about 5 to 15 minutes of teacher-guided practice, and it's a chance to mass the practice. So here you can see all of the work is focused around that one skill, which is great for interventionists and for you at the teacher table. Well, that's a wrap. This short clip was intended to give you key navigations in the main menu over here on the left, as well as your presentation slides and everything on the right-hand side that populates for today's lesson. Going back and using this as a tool, you can pause the video and you can actually engage with your own device on the feature being shown. Now remember, we didn't show everything, but in that Help Center for Phase 1 of Learning, if you want to know more that wasn't covered, utilize the click path for the Teacher Center overview and also the Student Center overview, where you can see that dynamic engagement that's provided just by students being able to log in, get to those games, get to the e-toolkits, and so much more with the reference book. So I'm excited for you to check out the Student Center as well. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your conference.